right, and welcome back to another adventure here on Southern Sense.
All right, and welcome back to another adventure here on Southern Sense. You never know.
Curtis, do you hear only one voice in me or two voices in me?
Curtis, do you hear only one voice in me or two voices in me?
I hear one.
Okay, I got my headset screwing up again.
Okay, I got my headset screwing up again.
This is going to be one of those days. Okay, we're just going to try to do this the best
This is going to be one of those days.
Okay,
we're just going to try to do this the best we can.
I don't know what has changed in this, and something has. And
I don't know what has changed in this, and something has, and I'm getting a feedback.
That's not fair. That's not good.
That's not fair. That's not good.
I guess it's pronounced.
We're going to try this some other way.
All right, we're going to try this some other way. Holy moly, Curtis. We never know what's going to be going on with this thing.
All right, can you hear me now?
All right, can you hear me now?
Sure can.
Okay, you got me now, Curtis?
Okay, you got me now, Curtis?
Now
Okay, you got me now, Curtis?
Like an echo chamber.
I'm not hearing anything here.
I'm not hearing anything here. I'm not hearing anything here.
We're
starting this off really to a great time.
Curtis, take over
We're starting this off really to a great time. Curtis, take over for now because right now I got to figure out what's going on here. So bear with me, okay?
Welcome to Southern Sense Block Talk Conservative Radio. If you've been keeping up with the news, you know that that judge that don't like Trump has threatened to put him in jail. That was to be expected. You can't shackle Trump. You can't shackle a guy like that. I don't know what that was, but Trump is a guy who speaks his mind, as we know, and as the rest of us know, he's being done an injustice here, and I think he feels as though, you know, this is a great opportunity to show not only the United States but the world, you know, how much of what's going on is what you would find in a banana republic, you know, kangaroo court, as they used to call them. And I think he's just bringing this out more and more by being defiant. And it's something we need to see. It's something that we need to understand because a lot of people don't. Of course, this kind of stuff is being shielded from those who follow left-wing media. They have no clue of what's going on behind the scenes. They don't get the news that some of us get on the right. But I mean, everything I see or listen to that's left-wing media bias. They portray Trump as though he's a bad guy and he's the worst president. And
yeah.
Are you back? Yep, I can hear
Curtis, can you hear me now?
And I'm still getting a delay on this. I can't believe this thing.
Wow.
And I'm still getting a delay on this. I can't believe this thing.
I don't know what's going on here.
Now, whether or not,
I don't know what's going on here.
To be seen, but I think he's tempting them or calling them bluff. You got it, Annie.
Keep on going, Curtis, please.
Oh, okay.
Keep on going, Curtis, please.
Another thing in the news is recently, as our side, again, are usually more knowledgeable of, there was another insurrection at the Capitol the other day. And I'm not really hearing anything, you know, in the same vein as you heard for the January 6th so-called insurrection. This is being played down. What happened the other day as nothing more than just some passionate patriots. Wow, the call.
Solve the problem, Curtis. No, I didn't.
Wow.
There it goes.
But anyway, we'll see if we can make enough noise on our side to get the news people to do their jobs and be fair. You know, sides. This are supposed to be fair and balanced, and actually they were meant to protect the American citizen from the government. But as we know, over the years, decades, and so forth, they have become a part of the establishment. They like to go to the socials and the balls and to polls. But I mean, some polls you just can't, ignore.
843524404.
Trump seems to be doing quite well against Biden, and he's smothering his GOP rivals. I mean, and followed by Nikki Haley. But Trump is like 60, 61%. And I mean, you can't, then you can say, I really, we'll wait until, we see what happens. When you have that large of a lead, it's on today if it was held. You back, Annie?
I'm hoping so. And I've got. I'm hearing it coming on your end. You have a speaker open? Going through your speaker?
Just talking through my headset.
Because I'm hearing it coming from your end.
Can you take over and I'll switch headsets?
Okay.
Okay. See if that makes a difference.
All right. Well, folks, this is live. And if he's switching headsets, I'm still getting feedback. I don't know what to do. All right, folks, I'm just going to be trying to do this the best I can, and hopefully I'm not going to have too much of a noise.
I'm just going to be trying to do this really screwed up start each and every show
today's
with a
dedication is going to be going out to Police Officer Jake Wallin of the Fargo Police Department of North Dakota. His is the New York Post, and it reads, Fargo Police Officer Jake Wallin was remembered as a brave young man at his funeral service in North Dakota. Jake Wallin was once a small boy who sought comfort in the arms of family, terrified of fireworks that lit up the sky. The Fargo police officer was remembered for growing up to be a military veteran and a dedicated officer whose final act of valor was staring down the face of a man intent on bloodshed. Wallin, 23, was killed on Friday, July 14th, when a man armed with 1,800 rounds of ammunition, multiple guns, and explosives ambushed officers responding to a routine traffic crash. 2 other officers and a civilian were wounded before a 4th officer returned fire, killing the gunman, Mohammed Barakat. Police said the actions of the 4th officer likely spared the city a bigger, bloodier attack. Wallin, who had been sworn in as a Fargo police officer in April, was still in field training and was cremated in his uniform. The Fargo Police Department escorted his remains to Epoch Lakes, Minnesota for his funeral service, which was attended by loved ones, dignitaries, and law enforcement agencies from across the country. The police procession of 10 squad cars and 3 buses carrying department employees left Fargo early for Epoch Lakes. Dozens of people were at the memorial honoring Wallin at the site of the shooting as the procession went past, KFGO reported. Wallin previously served in the Minnesota Army National Guard and was deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq from November of 2020 to July of 2021, according to a spokesman for the Minnesota National Guard. He received final military honors at a private interment. He served his country, came back here, and wanted nothing more but to serve in a position with purpose and meaning, his exact words, and that He did, Fargo Police Chief David Zablosky had said at a media briefing after the shooting. Zablosky recounted Wallin's impressive quality as a candidate in his officer interview last fall, and how he excelled in the police academy and strived for a job with meaning and purpose. The chief shared that body camera footage of the shooting showed Wallin hurried to create distance intuitively after his fellow officers were hit, pulled his gun out, and was taking aim at the gunman when he was fatally struck. His final act of valor was to selflessly face the shooter, an attempt to neutralize him to save others, Zablosky said. His actions were valorous and exemplify the highest standards of the police profession. Aunt Jody Wallin recounted her nephew as a little boy I adored, who grew into the young man I admired and was oh so proud of. Wallin had recently purchased a house for himself and his fiancée, and was so proud of becoming a new homeowner that he ran out and bought himself a lawnmower and mowed his new lawn, his aunt said. I remember him as a small boy with his little arms wrapped so tightly around my neck, burying his face into me to try to avoid the fireworks that he hated so much at that age, she said. From that timid small boy, he grew to be a driven, ambitious, and brave young man. Chaplain Jordan Hemling, who served with Wallin in Iraq, recalled his dedication as a soldier and his positive personality amid a changing mission as well as restrictions of the coronavirus pandemic. Jake could see the big picture in life, and he realized that it took long, disciplined, steady efforts to get you to the top of the mountain, Hemling said. Wallin's parents received 2 Fargo Police Awards and the Minnesota Distinguished Service Medal in honor of their son at the service. Law enforcement agencies from other states attended Wallin's funeral. A caravan including Sioux Falls Police and South Dakota Highway Patrol left Sioux Falls, South Dakota on Friday to make the 5.5-hour trip for the funeral, KELO TV reported. Dignitaries at the funeral service included Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar. A public memorial was planned in Fargo, in North Dakota. Governor Doug Burgum attended and gave remarks. North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley provided more details about the attack, which also wounded officers Andrew Dotis and Tyler Hughes, and bystander Carly Coswick, who had been involved in the crash. Barakat was a Syrian national who came to the U.S. on an asylum visa request in 2012 and became a U.S. citizen in 2019, Wrigley said. Over the past 5 years, he had searched the internet for terms including kill fast, explosive ammo, incendiary rounds, and mass shooting events, Wrigley said. Perhaps the most chilling search was for area events where there are crowds, which on July 13th brought up a news article with the headline, Thousands enjoyed first day of downtown Fargo Street Fair. On the day of the attack, the downtown fair was in its second day and was less than 3 miles from the crash scene. Barakat also searched for information on the Red River Valley Fair, which was a 6-mile drive from the scene, the Attorney General said. Wrigley said Barakat had an obvious motive to kill and was driven by hate, but it was not directed towards any particular group, including police. Evidence suggests instead that Barakat came upon the crash by happenstance, and his ensuing ambush was a diversion from his much bigger intended target, Wrigley said. Today's show is dedicated to police officer Jake Wallin of the Fargo Police Department. It's also dedicated to all the brave men and women out there that serve as first responders, be they law enforcement, firefighters, or emergency services. It's also dedicated to all the brave men and women that serve in our military, from the birth of this nation through today and into our glorious future. We dedicate to all of them this song by Tiffany, Soul of the Nation.
All right, and we're back. You're here listening to Southern. I have a funny feeling the computer got in there, and I don't understand what's going wrong here. Well,
I don't know what to do here. I am honestly at a complete loss.
I don't know what to do here. I am honestly at a complete loss.
Well, there's one other thing I can try to do, Curtis, to see if I can upload them onto
BTR and just
use it from there.
I can think of.
So,
all right. As most of us may know by now that there wasn't and going on up there, but it kind of it's reminiscent to stand behind one person. I mean, Jim Jordan has a good record. He's well known.
Explaining why our founding fathers think this is a good thing that's going on. You want to explain that, Mark?
Multiple days before today, and I have to say, I'm not sure what the founders would say. Just happened in the last, half an hour. The House Republican Conference and decided to nominate renominate Jim Jordan, renominate Steve Scalise, even maybe renominate Kevin McCarthy, or nominate somebody entirely new, Kevin Hearn from Oklahoma, for example, and then have a vote on Tuesday. I have to say, I've been in Washington, D.C. Enthusiastic journalism. There's no way Scalise is going to be elected speaker. And Jordan was, of course, present in that meeting, in that conference meeting, and did 7 or 8 members of the conference that really took personal umbrage at that. And I think that's nominated simply out of, anger that that incident happened, and Jordan didn't say anything about it. I think, that's what I hear, and it makes sense to me. There's also some other folks that Jordan has, he says what he thinks, and he doesn't hold back his opinions about things, and that's offended a few Republicans along the way. So, there's that. But I have also heard, Curtis, I've also been told that yesterday especially, there were a number of K Street lobbyist types. Lobbying against Jordan, and I'm not this week, and Trump did not immediately appeal to the Supreme Court, because that is clearly a First Amendment violation of the First Order, and I can't imagine.
What's the logistics?
What I want to Secret Service and everything else. How is that going to work?
Do the Secret Service guys have to be in the cell with him, or what? I don't know.
Well, they could go.
Be very, very interesting.